Have you ever wondered about those who dream of a better life versus those who create it? Are you waiting to accomplish your dreams and goals? Welcome to Create It Now with your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth. For the next 60 minutes, we're going to put your dreams into motion and create it now. The phone lines are open at 731-1230. That's 731-1230. Or toll free 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. Now let's bring on the host and create it now. Here is Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Welcome to the Create It Now radio show. Your hosts today are me, Big Magic Al Jensen, and Jonathan Stone.
How you doing?
Jonathan, good afternoon. How are you today?
Phenomenal. How are you doing, sir?
I am phenomenal as well. Thank you for letting me come in and fill in for the traveling Dawn Elizabeth.
Yes, she is missed.
Yeah, she is definitely missed.
She'll be back next Tuesday.
That's good to know.
Yes.
And do you know what city she's in? What city or state she's in today?
I believe she's in Colorado.
In Colorado. Now, for those of you who are longtime listeners to the show, you know that Dawn Elizabeth is a professional speaker, a professional trainer, and she goes around the country helping businesses, small businesses, medium businesses, businesses of all size, help increase their productivity, help train their employees on a variety of different topics. And this is a week that she has to be out of state doing some of that work.
So. And she helps in communication, which is quite the key.
Absolutely. Communication is really where she got her start, and she's branched out into so many other areas. And I've had the privilege to work with her on a number of projects over the past couple of years. And what a delightful human being, and very insightful, very driven. And I know that that you and her got together and came up with this concept of Create It Now radio. That is just an awesome, awesome concept. Tell us a little bit about how it came to be.
Well, the Create It Now show, I've always been a big fan of taking action. And I listen to a lot of radio, and I work with a lot of speakers and authors from all over in all walks of life, and just realized we need to help the community and start in the community and get people in the community to start taking action and making a difference. And kind of almost be like role models, or give somebody that little boost, or let them know that there's somebody out here that will help them to make a difference. And a support group, a support team. And that's how Create It Now pretty much started, to take people from their dream state to the created state.
That is awesome. I got to tell you, whenever I hear that story, it reminds me of a program that Craig Valentine. Do you know who Craig Valentine is? He puts on a program, and his one of his programs is called Don't Get Stuck on Get Ready.
Right.
You know, don't get stuck on Get Ready, because far too many people, I think, get bogged down in the planning process, in the preparation process, and that kind of gets in the way of them taking the first step. And let's face it. I mean, planning is a wonderful thing. You know, you need to plan. You need to look forward and think about the potential roadblocks. You need to think about how you're going to handle this, that, and the other thing. But until you take that first step, you know, you have no hope of success.
Right. And most people do get stuck in the whole plan mode. And they don't move forward. And that's the thing. Take the leap. We don't care if you're 3/4 of the way done, because perfect is in your own mind. It's not what other people perceive to be perfect. And a lot of people wait for the recognition of others. Yeah, like I was thinking about something actually earlier today. A lot of us look at people and go, I wish I could be like that person.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We sit there and go, we're not as good enough. We're not as good as. And as soon as we become as good as, we can do it. Or if we go, we're better than that person, then we're all about ego.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to look into yourself and who you are and what you want to do and achieve. And that's the only person that really makes a decision about you going ahead with your goals.
Exactly, because the only person you really have to compete with is yourself.
Right.
Is to be the best that you can possibly be, to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And it all happens when you take action. And that's why I love this show. I loved it from the moment that you guys conceived of it.
Thank you.
And put it on the air. And I appreciate every opportunity I get to come in studio with you and talk about these topics, listen to the call-ins and the in-studio guests that you have, because it really helps to motivate me to continue to take action.
Nice. And it's helped a lot of people too. We get a lot of calls. Actually, yesterday I went to see Gordy Brown.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
amazing. And then I got invited backstage. And I was telling Gordy about the show. Actually, somebody else told Gordy about the show, and he's like, I want to do that. I have the best story. He's like, and I'd actually like to do it here in the dressing room, because this is where my dreams all started.
All right.
And I'll tell a little bit about it, but most of it I want him to tell and explain his story, though. But as a child, he saw some of his famous performers and famous artists that he looked up to at that theater, and now the theater is actually named after him.
Right.
And he has a great story, and he was just what a kind, nice guy. So everybody should really go see him. He was pretty amazing.
And he got to where he is today because of the steps
believed.
that he took,
and
the action that he's taken.
Yes, and he wants to share the story.
All right. I will look forward to seeing Gordy Brown in studio and hearing that story.
Nice.
That is an awesome story, and I want to tell a little story now that Dawn is out of the studio, because she was here last week when I was in studio, and we kind of put Dawn on the hot seat. But I want to tell a little story about taking action as it relates to Dawn Elizabeth, and I'm assuming that at one point in time she'll probably hear this, but I'll probably not be around at the time, so that's a good thing. But Dawn Elizabeth and I met about 3 or so years ago and have done some projects together, and we meet on a fairly regular basis in what I like to call an accountability partnership. We share with each other our business goals and things that we want to accomplish, and we explain to the other what we're going to do, what steps we're going to take. And then next week when we get together, Dawn says, okay, Al, what did you do? Did you get it done? And if you didn't do it, why the heck didn't you get it done? What got in the way? And what are you going to do this next week to actually take steps to move closer towards your goal accomplishment? And then I do the same thing with her. And the point here is that accountability partnerships, if you've ever had the opportunity to have such a relationship, is just a phenomenal thing, because holding ourselves accountable is one thing, but when you have to answer to another person that you respect and you trust and you believe in, you know that you've got to take action before you meet with them. Otherwise, your feet are going to be burning.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree. I think accountability partners are an amazing way to go.
So I give a lot of credit to our accountability partnership that I have with Dawn in helping to accomplish a lot of the things I've accomplished in the last couple of years.
Nice.
So I hope that I have held her feet to the fire and helped her accomplish some things as well. So that's probably a topic for another day. We could probably spend a whole hour talking about accountability partnerships.
No, I absolutely agree. I actually know a guy, actually Carol Booker's back here, Mike Wang. Do you know him? He's a speaker and stuff. And he started a whole accountability program where people could actually get your passwords to emails and stuff like that, where they can, if you are not accountable and you do not do what you say, they will change you and lock you out of your Facebook, your email, and everything. And it's all online, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, I would not want that.
Right, so that's why people actually do things. They take action and make it happen.
Oh, absolutely. It all starts with the action that we take. It all starts right there. And then, of course, there's a whole set of other steps that we need to take after we've taken action to evaluate what we've done right, the mistakes perhaps that we've made, things that we didn't anticipate or things that didn't just come out as well as we wanted to. And then we have to go back and learn the things that we need to know in order to do it better next time, and then jump back in and replan and then take action again. But it all happens when we jump in with both feet and take action.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So that's what Create It Now is all about. And with that, I would like to bring in our first guest today, because our first guest, Jonathan, is all about taking action. And she is the perfect guest for the Create It Now show. So let's welcome to the show Deanne Marie. Deanne,
Hello,
welcome
Deanne.
to Create It Now.
Hello. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Jonathan.
Our
Glad
pleasure.
to be here.
Well, we're delighted to have you here today. Now, let me understand. You have a website which kind of tells everybody what your business is all about, what you do. And it's called Smart Solutions for BusyPeople.com.
That is right. And you're exactly right. It's pretty much exactly what I do. I help busy people with a really easy and smart 4-step solution.
Okay, and we're going to get to that 4-step solution here in just a moment. But who in the world came up with the idea for the domain Smart Solutions for BusyPeople.com?
Well, I was working with a book coach on my first book and gift giving for busy people. And it was, at the time, everything was by design. And he said, well, I don't really understand the by design concept. What is it? And I said, well, it's kind of like holidays for busy people. And he said, Eureka, that's it. It's for busy people. And that's your concept. So Smart Solutions for Busy People is an umbrella for holidays, decorating, gift giving, and entertaining.
Well, I was about to ask you, who are these busy people that you talk about? But all we have to do is open our eyes and look around, because everybody is busy today. Is that right?
It absolutely. Everyone seems to have 1,000 things to do at once. And I really help people who feel there's not enough time in the day to get everything done that they want, to have that magical life that they want and they deserve.
Right. I think back to the late 1980s when I started to get really involved in the business world. And I was hired on as a general sales manager and then later a general manager for a commercial industrial first aid supply company out of Des Moines, Iowa. And when they hired me on, they said, now we're going to hire an administrative assistant for you to make certain that you are able to stay on top of everything, because I couldn't type and I had no idea what a word processor was. And I had this administrative assistant who wrote all my letters and made all the telephone calls and handled all the correspondence and everything that I needed. And 20 years later, I look back and I go, how in the world am I surviving today without her? And I'm actually having to do all those things by myself. So do you remember back to a day when most business executives, had personal assistants?
Absolutely. And some days I wish I had my own personal assistant as well.
But I bet you do.
There are ways where we can, I love that analogy of being our own personal assistant, because it's really just about organizing your time, being very clear on what's important to you, and then you can take action on those particular items and leave everything else aside.
Certainly. We're going to get to those details in just a moment here, but I want to ask Jonathan, so have you ever had a personal or administrative assistant?
Yes, I have, and I definitely need it.
Do you?
One of those people, like I'm the big dreamer and work on deals and stuff. And that's what Dawn and we have our partnership is so amazing, because she's a detail person, and Carol as well. I mean, without them, I'm lost. They get all the details done. They make everything happen so we can just shine, and they let me do my thing, and it's great, because you have to, have people that are better at things than you are. And they have just been like the driving force behind so much. I mean, just the little things, making it happen, getting it done, all the paperwork, the commercials, and everything that needs to be done. Carol's always there. I can call her 24 hours a day, and she will be there.
Well, that's
the little things in life.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But Deanne, let's talk a little bit about the type of person that you most commonly help. As I understand, it's generally busy professional people who have a career and they maybe manage some people, manage a business or whatever they're doing, and then they have their home life. They probably have kids. They probably have social commitments, maybe church commitments, community commitments, things like that. Is that the typical kind of person that typically hires you to help?
Yes, I like to think of them as a juggler, someone who's juggling so many aspects of life and feeling like they're not really contributing as much as they can to every single aspect. And it's how do we kind of smooth that out and just make it less of a juggling act and more of like a conductor conducting a symphony where everything is in harmony and just at the right time and in the right way.
Absolutely. Now, I understand that you have on your website, smartsolutionsforbusypeople.com, you have a 4-step process which helps people kind of get their act together. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, I don't want all the details just quite yet because we got to go to a break, but I want our listeners to know that when we come back, we're going to be talking about that 4-step process to get your act together. So, you are listening to the Create It Now radio show. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our website at www.createitnowmedia.com. We're talking today with Deanne Marie. Stick with us. We will be right back after these messages. From the entertainment capital of the world, listen to On Stage in Vegas on the fourth Thursday of each month at 9 p.m. right here on KLAV. You'll hear interviews, stories, and valuable life and business lessons from performers, producers, and directors who have created success on stage in Vegas and around the world. Join me, Big Magic Al Jensen, and Michelle Roxy Davis as we bring you stories from the stage that are guaranteed to inspire, motivate, and entertain. If you can't make it live, log on to VegasAllNetRadio.com to find show archives and bonus interviews. Either way, we look forward to seeing you on stage in Vegas.
Hey, it's Roxy from the 702 Rock Show, right here at VegasAllNetRadio.com. Listen to my show every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear about local artists, musicians, fashion designers, and more right here in Las Vegas. So tune in every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear me, Michelle Roxy Davis, right here at VANR on the 702 Rock Show.
Hi everyone, this is New Media Vegas, your Sin City webmasters in Las Vegas, Nevada.
More than just web design, complete integrated marketing with inspired innovations in delivery of your new media message, putting the groove and the backbeat back in your brand.
The hottest in design trends with the latest innovations in marketing techniques. Call New Media Vegas at 702-517-0184.
Or visit us online at www.newmediavegas.com. Don't forget to check out our online magazine, Sin City Presents, featuring business, technology, fashion, dining, and entertainment news.
702-517-0184. 702-517-0184.
Create It Now. Continues. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Big Magic Al Jensen here on the Create It Now radio show, sitting in for a traveling Dawn Elizabeth and working alongside my good friend Jonathan Stone. Jonathan, thanks for having me in today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. You don't have the little pink microphone cover like Dawn does.
No, I don't.
We have to get you your own
she
color.
didn't leave me. Yeah, I prefer something other than pink, but I could probably live with pink.
I think it goes with your eyes.
Well, thanks. It is radio after all, and I do have a face perfect for radio.
Yes.
In any event, if you are just tuning in, we are speaking today with Deanne Marie. Now, Deanne Marie has a website, and that website is called smartsolutions4busypeople.com. Now, Deanne, before the break, we teased everybody and said that when we come back, you were going to share a 4-step process that busy professionals can use to get more out of the limited time, especially here at the holidays. Why don't you tell us what that 4-step process is all about?
I'd be happy to, Al. It is my superpower secret for success.
Superpower
secret.
Superpower.
Yes.
That's a lot like just regular power, except you're wearing a cape today.
Exactly,
Is that right?
Exactly. And it's called the POPS plan. POPS.
Okay.
Plan. I know, but not getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Plan, organize, prioritize, and then schedule. Because the best laid plans, as you were talking about earlier, if they don't result in action, are meaningless. So that's why we schedule it, get it on our calendar, and adhere to it like the most important appointment that you would put on your schedule. That's how you get your plan into action.
Nice.
Is jump in with both feet and just take action, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about the plan. Can you kind of dissect this for us a little bit and tell us what a busy professional, and we're talking today about kind of getting ready for the holidays, getting ready for Thanksgiving and for Christmas and the other holidays.
They're coming up
towards the end of the
so
year.
quick.
They do come up so quick. So
yes.
What goes into the plan?
So when you're creating a plan, let's use the example of the holiday season.
Okay.
You need to think about, okay, what's important to you for the holidays? Is it having a nice dinner at Thanksgiving? Is it decorating your home for Christmas? Is it planning a vacation for when the kids are on, school break? So into the plan goes everything that's important to you for creating a perfect or, nearly perfect holiday experience.
Sure. Okay, then once we've got our plan in place,
Then we organize.
Okay.
So organization means, okay, who can help me with this? So it's
Oh.
it's resources. What resources do I have available
Mm-hmm.
to me to help me put this plan into action? It could be
Carol.
people. It could be it could be your personal assistant. It could be, where do I have the right things to decorate the house? What do I have on hand that I can put this plan into action? So it's both material things as well as people who can help
As
you.
human resources.
Correct.
Sure. Okay. And then,
Next is to prioritize, and this can become the most crucial aspect of
wow,
any
that's-
holiday plan.
I'll be honest with you. That's where I get bogged down because I can have the great plans and I know what I've got at my disposal, but then
Yeah.
what comes first? What's most important?
Exactly. And so for priority is without this, would my holiday not be the same? So for Thanksgiving, it might be dinner. For Christmas, it might be baking cookies or whatever it is for you and your family. That becomes the number one priority. And
Sure.
that's where you put your time and effort first. And then if you get everything else on your plan done, fantastic. But otherwise, you start with number one and do that. And that's how you get the perfect holiday for you and your family.
Okay, because I'm thinking back to when my son, who's 31 now, but when he was a teenager, it was very important for him to take part in the baking and decorating of the holiday cookies.
Yep.
I mean, if we missed that, oh my goodness, it was just not a good scene. So we had to make certain that we scheduled a time when everybody was going to be there. We had all the materials, and he could take part in baking and decorating those holiday cookies. That was a really, really big thing to him. And, now 15, 18 years later, I'm sure he would still say that those are some of his most precious memories as a child, knowing that, that we prioritized and got that done for him.
Well, and I think that's a really important point to make is that when we're prioritizing, what we're doing overall, we're creating memories. We're laying a foundation for traditions, for those memories later in life, and we're also nurturing the relationships with our family and with our friends.
Certainly. So once we've prioritized, then
Then it's about scheduling. And as I mentioned earlier, put it on your schedule. So, for example, making cookies. If you say, okay, December 12th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., we are baking cookies. Come, anything or high water, we
Right.
are baking cookies. And then you treat that like, okay, this is an appointment
Yeah,
with
it's a
the
booked
president or
appointment.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's in concrete. I mean,
Yes.
we're going to do it at that particular point in time.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I used to have a Pops plan. If I didn't get my chores done, Pops would get to me. So that was my thing. So I had to get that was my Pops plan.
That explains a lot,
Exactly.
It really does.
Make it happen.
Now, tell me, Deanne Marie, is this something that you strictly just give information or sell information or train people, or is this something that you actually help them to learn and help them to implement on a one-on-one basis?
I do help people on a one-on-one basis. I do offer a coaching program.
Tell us about that.
Well, you can, when you study with me, everyone can get the POPS plan for free at smartsolutionsforbusypeople.com.
Okay.
But to actually implement that in your life and get the most enriching experience, I do offer Smart Solutions coaching and consulting, where you can work with me to look at your specific life, what is important to you uniquely, and then we work to implement that POPS plan until it becomes so ingrained that it's just something that becomes natural to you.
Okay.
And then you just learn how to sift and sort through the things in your life, and it just becomes second nature.
That's excellent, because sometimes we can read a book or we can listen to it and we can understand it intellectually, but until we really internalize it and understand what step number one is. I mean, I've got a picture, I've got a general idea, but what's the first thing that I do? And then once I've got that done, Deanne, what do I do next? So you can come in and help me figure out step number 1 through step number 27, or however many steps there are.
Exactly.
I like that.
It turns it from just reading it to experiencing it.
Speaking of reading, I understand that you have written a book called Gift Giving for Busy People, which, if I were going to title it, I would just say Gift Giving for Everyone, because who's not busy?
Right.
I mean, really. But what was your inspiration and motivation for writing Gift Giving for Busy People?
Well, Gift Giving for Busy People came out of basically my experience of giving gifts that people would go, how did you know? Or this is the best gift I've ever received. And I thought, well, wait a minute, maybe I have a skill that I can actually teach other people. And so with Gift Giving for Busy People, no matter who's on your holiday gift list, you will find the perfect gift for them on your budget. And it walks you through the same questions I ask myself when I'm looking to get the perfect gift for someone in my life. And it's available on the website or at Amazon on a Kindle.
Okay, so it's available at Smart Solutions for Busy People. And
That's correct.
also giftgivingforbusy.people.com.
Yes, it's so special. It has its own
Has its
website.
own website. That is smart when it comes to marketing. That's very, very smart. And Amazon.com, you said as well.
Yes.
So when somebody reads this book, can you kind of give us a little flavor for some of the things that they're going to learn in your book?
Yes, you are going to learn what makes a perfect gift. There
Okay.
are 4 elements to a perfect gift, and so you'll learn what those are and how to incorporate them into every gift that you give.
All right.
You will learn why not to give gift cards. I could do an entire show on why not to give gift cards. They have their place, but they're not a good default gift anymore, folks. This book will help you get out of that gift card
Okay.
default trap. You'll also learn how to present a gift. You'll learn about writing a gift note to really personalize your gift. And there are some kind of cheat sheets for birthdays and anniversaries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So it's a little bit less thinking. And
Will you help me to remember when my wife's birthday is, or our anniversary is, or special days like that?
I do have tips in there on websites that you can use to actually remind you through your phone when,
excellent.
and you get a
Nice.
reminder. Yeah.
Excellent. And a little bit later, we're going to be talking to somebody who
Yes.
can teach me from a memory standpoint how to memorize those things. So
Ooh,
that's
that's
pretty
fantastic.
cool. That's coming up in our next half hour. But some of the tips I think that you wanted to share with people, we talked a little bit off air. You wanted to remind people to just don't freak out. What does that mean?
It's so easy to get overwhelmed this time of year. I mean, after Halloween, it feels like we're slingshot into the holiday season, and there can be so much coming at us. And it's important to not feel overwhelmed, and that's where the prioritizing comes in, to realize what's really important so that you don't freak out and just go crazy during the holidays.
So I suppose that's where plan ahead comes in. Is that right?
Yes, plan ahead. Have an idea of what you need to get accomplished. Have an idea of what the dates are and how soon the
Right.
holidays are coming up.
Right.
So you're not sitting there, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving going, oh, I think I need to buy a turkey.
Exactly. And then, I mean, this is rarely something that one person in a family does by themselves. Usually there's multiple people that are involved. And how do I make certain that I don't shoulder all the responsibility myself, or maybe duplicate the efforts that a spouse has already undertaken?
Well, and that's communicate. Communication is so important, not only with your family members, with your bosses at work. If you need extra time to go to a holiday play at your child's school, don't keep it inside. Communicate what's going on, what you've already done, what needs to happen, and what you need help with.
All right. And I am not a big Martha Stewart fan, all right? But I got to admit, I mean, she has some pretty good ideas for making things, making the home and making gifts and things like that. She can really do some amazing things with very limited resources. So I understand that making it pretty or making it presentable is also a key component, right?
Absolutely, because even the simplest meal can become a beautiful experience when you make it pretty. And I'm not saying you need to go out and, bling out your house or make it perfect. I'm saying make it comfortable, make it pretty for you and your family and your friends. And it doesn't really matter what you serve. It's about creating the atmosphere.
Right. Now, this sounds like it could be pretty complex. I mean, I'm going to be getting involved in a lot of things here, it sounds like.
Well, that's why it's important to simplify along the way. And when things do start to feel overwhelming or complicated, okay, what can I remove? How can I simplify this? And don't overthink it. Just simplify, simplify, simplify.
All right.
And don't take stock tips from Martha Stewart.
Right.
That's right. So you would like to offer people your 4-step process, the POPS plan. Tell people where they can go to get that.
They can go to smartsolutionsforbusypeople.com, and up at the top of the page is a hot pink bar that says Give Me Access Now. You just click there and you will be taken through the steps to download the POPS plan for yourself.
Wow, that sounds pretty easy. And for those people who are busy people looking for some gift-giving help, where can they go to buy your book, Gift Giving for Busy People?
giftgivingforbusypeople.com, or if you prefer the Kindle version, Amazon.com.
Excellent. Well, Deanne Marie, you have been a wealth of knowledge and information. Thanks for coming in to the Create It Now show today.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Jonathan.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome.
But you have nothing about fruitcakes in that, do you?
No.
All
Not
right.
allowed to give away fruitcake.
You are listening to the Create It Now radio show. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our website at createitnowmedia.com. We'll be right back after these messages.
With Ron White. Thank you.
Why wait to accomplish your dreams when you can create them now? It's time to put your dreams into motion. Hi, this is Dawn Elizabeth with the Create It Now radio show on KLAV 1230 AM. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We will help you move from a dream state to a create state. Become a part of the conversation on the Create It Now radio show about why some people dream it versus why other people create it. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on KLAV.
The best television isn't on television. It's on the internet. Log on to realwisdomtv.com for thousands of hours of motivational and inspiring content. On demand, all the time. Unlike network television with its sex, drugs, and rock and roll, realwisdomtv.com provides wellness, wealth, and wisdom. From how to read faster to creating greater wealth, realwisdomtv.com is for you. The learning never stops, and neither does realwisdomtv.com. Log on now to realwisdomtv.com.
Are you ready to make more money? Do you want to set yourself apart in your industry? Then you need to join the USA Victory Tour. Jay Suter will be sharing the 3 key skills of how he went from a brand new idea to earning over 5 figures in one day. The USA Victory Tour will be in 18 cities across the U.S. Where will they be next? Find out at usavictorytour.com. Don't see your city listed? Bring the USA Victory Tour to your city. Log on now to usavictorytour.com. When small business wins, America wins. Those who can, do. This is Create It Now. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Actually, it's Big Magic Al Jensen today, sitting in for a traveling Dawn Elizabeth here in studio with Jonathan Stone. You're listening to the Create It Now radio show. If you're just tuning in, we've had a wonderful conversation with Deanne Marie, and now we have a call-in guest. And Jonathan, why don't you tell us who that call-in guest is?
Yes, we're really fortunate to have Mr. Ron White. He's a 2-time memory champion, 2009, 2010. Held the world record for remembering a deck of cards in 1 minute and 27 seconds for 2 years. He's been on Stan Lee's Superhumans on the History Channel, which I actually caught, and I saw it again today. He's just absolutely amazing. 8-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. In 2007, served tour in Afghanistan. Ron, welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show. I know you're really busy.
Are you there, Ron?
Yeah. No, thanks for having me on, Jonathan. I'm always a big fan of everything you do, so I'm glad to be included. Thank you.
Oh, and I'm such a huge fan of yours. I am.
Now, Ron, how in the world did you start getting involved in memory development?
Well, when people hear, when Jonathan says, this guy's a 2-time USA memory champion and he held the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards in the United States, or that I was on Stan Lee's Superhumans, the natural assumption that everybody makes is, oh, this guy must have been born with some special ability that I don't have. He's one of those savants. He's Rain Man, blah, blah, blah. And really nothing's further from the truth. 22 years ago, I was an 18-year-old college student. I heard about a memory seminar, and I took the seminar not because I was a savant, but because I was not a savant, and I needed to improve my memory. So essentially, here's the bottom line. 22 years ago, I took a memory class, and I learned how to do the things I do today. I'm just a normal memory, normal-brained guy otherwise.
Can I jump in and ask you, who taught that memory seminar 22 years ago?
Yeah, you can. It was a guy named Blaine Aythorne. He's not really in the memory business anymore. He didn't view himself as a memory expert. And he would tell you that. He said, "I'm not a memory expert. I'm an expert memory trainer." And he did just that. He trained me expertly.
Excellent.
Nice.
Can I ask you, can I throw a name out and tell me if you know this person? How about Harry Lorraine?
Oh, yeah. Of course, he's an icon in the memory field, and he's a leader in our field. His book, he has a book called The Memory Book, which has probably sold more memory books than any person living. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Ron, that's amazing. But actually, Stan Lee did say you were a superhero. So how was it like doing that show?
That's superhero or superhuman? Or
superhuman.
both?
Superhero human.
Yeah, Stan Lee did say I was superhuman, and I appreciated that. It was nice. It stroked my ego, and I'm not going to argue with the legend like Stan Lee, but my ability is a trained ability. Jonathan, you could do it. Anybody could do it if they train themselves to the way I did.
Right. Well, we actually had a bet that you'd forget to call in, so I can actually won that one.
Yeah.
So somebody won.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So when we first met, you were telling me about, one of your biggest tricks, or not tricks, what you do with memory is when you have a whole audience walk by you and you introduce yourself and they introduce themselves to you. And then they can be up to like 600 people or more probably, and they sit down randomly, and you can go through each and every person in a row and say their names. And I think that's just amazing. What's the most amount of people you've ever done?
Well, the most amount of people I've ever done that way is 301 people. They walked by me, I got their names, and then I got up on stage and I said, if I shook your hand, stand up. 300 people stood up, and I called up all their names. The most names, though, that I've ever memorized is a project I did just this last year. In my introduction, you said I was a member of the United States Navy. I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2007. Obviously, I came back safe and sound, and obviously not everybody did. Right. So as a tribute, you're right, thank God, as a tribute to the fallen who didn't make it back, I memorized them all. So get this, there's 2,300 fallen members of the military who didn't make it back. I memorized their rank, their first name, and their last name. So it's 7,000 words.
Wow.
And I memorized it in exact sequence from the first casualty to the most recent. And then I'm traveling the United States right now, writing these names out from memory on a board to say you're not forgotten. It takes me 10 hours to write it out.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're just you're so amazing, and that's what I said. We're completely honored. Everybody's like speechless here. We actually have more guests in here than just Al and myself. So everybody's jaw has just dropped.
Yes,
I mean that is just wonderful.
Now, Ron, I understand that you're going to share with our listeners today some tips on how they can triple their memory. Is that correct?
Yeah, so basically, let's take the things that we've mentioned that I've done, and let me give you some insight on how I did those.
Please.
There's 5 steps that I teach to improving your memory, and they are this: focus, file, picture, glue, review. I'll say those again: focus, file, picture, glue, review. I'll say them one more time: focus, file, picture, glue, review. So the first one's focus, and bottom line is just common sense. If you're not focused, if you're not paying attention, you're not going to memorize it. 9 times out of 10, you shake somebody's hand, and 2 seconds later, you don't remember their name. It's not because you have a bad memory, because you're not focused. You're not paying attention.
Right.
So number one, focus. And how do you help your focus? Good nutrition and exercise, spinach and blueberries. And
wait a minute. I got a problem with that right there.
What's that? Okay.
Yeah, good nutrition. I don't know. That is totally foreign to me. But no, it is important because we're relying upon one of the most important muscles in our body, our brain, to actually remember these things. So I can understand that you have to have good nutrition in order to do that. That makes sense.
You do, but I'll also be honest with you. Let me shoot straight with you. If let's say we have a scientific test and we have one group of people and they eat McDonald's and Burger King and pizza and Cokes every day, but they practice the memory system that I utilize, which I'm about to share with you what it is, and then we have another room of people and they eat super healthy every day, but they don't learn a memory system. Well, the people who eat junk food every day are going to still win. Because even if you do eat healthy, you got to have a memory system. So now, what is the system? The system is the file, picture, glue. Here is the bottom line. This is how I memorized 7,000 words. I made a map of my house and I memorized it. So everybody, right now, look around at the room that they're in and pick 5 pieces of furniture. So it's going to be different for everybody, but you might be looking in front of you and you might see a computer screen. Okay, so that's number 1. There might be a bookshelf, so that's number 2. There might be a picture, that's number 3. There might be a table, that's number 4, and a couch, that's number 5. Whatever it is, pick 5 pieces in that room that you're in right now, just real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After you have those are what we call files. And the next thing you do is when you want to memorize something, you turn it into a picture. So let's see, and then you glue it to that piece of furniture. So real quickly, that first piece of furniture that you selected, I want you to imagine a washing machine and the soap spinning and soap's going everywhere, and there's clothes getting cleaned on that file or that piece of furniture. On the second piece of furniture that you selected, I want you to imagine a dam, like a dam that has water behind it, and the dam breaks. Water's flooding the room. On the third piece of furniture, I want you to imagine a chef, like Chef Boyardee, and he's cooking a food. Spaghetti's going everywhere, ravioli. Bottom line, there's a chef right there. Taste the food. On the next one, the fourth piece of furniture, I want you to imagine medicine, like Tylenol, Benadryl, Advil, NyQuil. The last one, that fifth piece of furniture, I want you to see a man in a rowboat, a man rowing a boat. Okay. This is how I memorized those 7,000 words. I had those 2,300 people. I had 2,300 pieces of furniture selected in my brain. I took their names and I turned it into a picture, and I attached it to that furniture. What we just memorized was the first 5 presidents of the United States. On the first piece of furniture, do y'all remember what the picture was I told you to put on the first piece of furniture?
Washing machine.
Washing machine.
There you go, for Washington. The second piece of furniture, do you remember what was on that one?
A dam.
Dam.
A dam for Adams. A dam Adams. The third piece of furniture?
A chef.
A chef for Jefferson or Jefferson. The fourth piece of furniture?
Medicine.
Medicine for Madison, James Madison. And the fifth piece of furniture?
Man rowing a boat.
Monroe for James Monroe. Monroe. So that's the first 5 presidents of the United States: Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe. If you had 44 pieces of furniture numbered, you could memorize all 44 presidents that way. So here's bottom line. Here's my system: focus, good nutrition, and exercise. File, it's pieces of furniture. Picture, whatever you want to recall, see it as a picture. Glues, the action and emotion that you make these pictures with. And then review. Just go back and review it a few times. So in a real quick capsule, Reader's Digest version, that's how I do what I do.
Right, and that's amazing. I actually, you taught me that and told me about it, but I showed my parents how to do that, to do a shopping list with 10 items, and it blew them away. Like 3-4 days later, I can ask them to do it forward or backwards, and they can repeat them all. They remembered everything. So it doesn't matter what age you are, and I know you've done this with little kids as well as adults.
Yeah, I have a real popular YouTube video. It's on YouTube. It's got about 20,000 views right now. It's a 6-year-old little girl memorizing the presidents of the United States. We in probably 60 minutes, we walked around her house, and just like we did those 5 with you, we did all 44 with her. And then she runs around the house and she says the presidents, and it is the cutest, cutest thing you ever saw. But yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was memorizing the veterans or the fallen heroes from Afghanistan, I kept reminding myself of that. Every time I'd get stuck and I would think, man, this is 2,300, I can't do it, I would remind myself, dude, that 6-year-old little girl did 44. You can do this. You got this. But
so how long did it take you?
It took me about 10 or 11 months to memorize it, and it takes me 10 to 11 hours to write it out every time I did it. I did it just this last Saturday.
Nice. I bet there's not a dry eye out there when you do it, and it's such an
You know what?
inspiration.
There's a lot of tears. Moms and dads will show up, and I've had moms and dads stand at the wall and wait for 8 hours just to watch me write their son's name.
Wow.
So it's just a very emotional, powerful experience for everybody. And you know what it says? It says that people care that you remember. Maybe you're not remembering fallen heroes from war. Maybe you're just remembering, the name of people you do business with. People care when you remember their name. They really do.
Absolutely. Hey, Ron, we have to go to our next commercial break, but before we do, can you give everybody out there your website information where they can learn more about you and your memory program?
If everybody goes to ronwhitememory.com, there's a blue box in the top right-hand corner. They can enter their email address and get my free training on how to remember names. So it's ronwhitememory.com.
Very good. Will you stick with us and come back with us after the break? We'll be gone for a couple of minutes, but will you hang with us for a little bit?
That sounds like a good plan.
Very good. Stick with us. You're listening to the Create It Now radio show. Stick with us. We'll be back right after these short commercial messages.
Why wait to accomplish your dreams when you can create them now? It's time to put your dreams into motion. Create it now. Hi, this is Jonathan Stone with the Create It Now radio show on KLAV 1230 AM. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We will help you move from a dream state to a create state. Become a part of a conversation on the Create It Now radio show about why some people dream it versus why other people create it. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on KLAV.
Are you holding yourself back? Does it seem like you are your own worst enemy? If you self-sabotage yourself or your business, you may never realize your dreams and goals. And all the seminars, training, and coaching in the world can't help you. Log on now to EliminateSelfSabotage.net. That's EliminateSelfSabotage.net and start clearing those blocks today. AJ Quayton is a leading authority on self-sabotage with over 27 years experience. His unique history in seminars and tens of thousands of case studies has developed an effective blend of techniques and skills that can help take you and your business to the next level. Log on now to EliminateSelfSabotage.net. That's EliminateSelfSabotage.net and start climbing higher, going farther, and reaching your dreams and goals. Log on now to EliminateSelfSabotage.net.
We're blowing it out at Gene Woods Racing Experience, Las Vegas's newest premier outdoor adrenaline-powered gasoline go-karting track with speeds in excess of 45 miles per hour if you've got the balls. We've got 2-for-1 Tuesdays, buy one and your friend rides free. We've got $5 off coupons, and remember, on your birthday, members ride free. And they get a free Gene Woods Racing Experience t-shirt, open Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. till 11. Saturday and Sunday, noon till 11. And we're located at 121 East Sunset Road in Las Vegas Boulevard at the Sports Center across from McCarran Airport. Come blow the doors off your competition at Gene Woods Racing Experience. Once you race here, you won't go anywhere else. Be there. Be there.
Welcome back to Create It Now. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Big Magic Al Jensen here, sitting in for a traveling Dawn Elizabeth this week on the Create It Now radio show with co-creator of the show and co-host Jonathan Stone. Jonathan, it's been a delight being here on the show with you today.
Thank you for filling in for Dawn.
Oh,
really
I
appreciate
can't fill her shoes, but I can certainly come in and try to help out a little bit. So I'm always happy to do that. And we've been talking with Ron White, a memory expert. Why don't you go ahead and bring Ron back in, and let's talk a little bit about his contact information where people can find out more about him.
Right. Ron, yes, we definitely want to get your contact information again, but I have a couple questions. So when you do the deck of cards and you won the championship, was that a Guinness Book of World Record thing, or is it just like they have a special tournament for how many cards you can read, or how does that work?
Yeah, it was a national record. It was a USA record. So, there's Germany records, there's English records, and there's world records. But mine was a USA record. And basically what it was is in 2009, they shuffled up a deck of cards really, really thoroughly, and they set the deck of cards on a table, and they said go. When they said go, I picked up the deck of cards, looked through it as fast as I could, and set it down. 1 minute and 27 seconds elapsed, and then I took another deck of cards and reassembled it from memory. They matched, and it was a USA record.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome. So do you still compete in that every year, or after a couple times that was it?
Well, I competed in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, so I competed 6 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I came in first place 2009 and 10. I was the national champion those years. 2011 and 12, I came in second place, so I was the runner-up 2 years. And, now I think I'm done. I just got, I'm at a point now where it takes so much to compete in those tournaments and be competitive. You literally got to stop everything for 3 months. And my goal is no longer to prove to people how good my memory is. What more do I have to prove?
No, exactly.
My goal now is, my goal is to teach other people, and I don't want to take out 3 months out of the year just to prove how good my memory is.
Yeah. I think you were saying that because you saw that I signed up for it this year, but that's all right. We're going to let it slide.
Rock and roll, you're going down.
That's it. We're taking you down, Mr. Dwight. Exactly. So who do you think benefits the most at the memory thing, or do you think it's the whole scope of everybody?
Well, it's different. Business people are going to benefit because they want to remember names and faces. Students are going to benefit because they need to study with less stress. Seniors are going to benefit because they want to keep a healthy, active brain as they age. So, I hate to say memory's for everybody, but I think it's for everybody, just different needs at different ages.
Right, and you have to practice at it. So where do we find, give us all your contact information again, please.
I tell people just go to ronwhitememory.com, and the first thing to do, I think the main thing to do, just test me out. I got products on there you can buy under the products button, but, don't do that. Just, eventually do that.
Right, exactly.
But just test me out. I got a box there, enter your email address, get some free training from me, see if you like it, see if what I'm saying is cool, and if it is, then listen to me, and if it's not, delete yourself off my list. But ronwhitememory.com is where you can find me.
Awesome. Very good. Hey, Ron, thank you so much for being on the Create It Now radio show. We really appreciate your call in, and we'll have to have you back again sometime.
Absolutely. When you're out here and actually in Vegas.
Yeah, come on in.
Are y'all in Vegas?
We're actually in Vegas. We broadcast all over, but we're actually live in Vegas. And we'll have you do memory tricks in the room.
Yeah,
on radio.
I'm auditioning for a Vegas show in January, so maybe I'll be seeing y'all a lot.
All right, okay. We would love that. So thank you very much, Ron White. I want to get back to Deanne Marie. Deanne Marie of Smart Solutions for BusyPeople.com. Deanne, thanks for coming in and being part of the Create It Now radio show.
Well, thanks, Al, and thanks, Jonathan. And I learned so much today.
Did you really?
From that last guest. It was amazing.
Well, that's awesome. And you have some wonderful information you can share with listeners. Your 4-step process, the POPS plan. Tell people where they can get that.
Again, you can get that at smartsolutionsforbusypeople.com. Go up to the top of the page in the bright pink box.
Very good. And the POPS plan stands for?
Plan, organize, prioritize, and schedule.
Wonderful. And you are also an author, having written a Gift Giving for Busy People, or the way I've subtitled it, Gift Giving for Everybody. Tell us where people can find Gift Giving for Busy People.
That can be found as a hard copy at giftgivingforbusypeople.com, or if you'd prefer the Kindle version, at amazon.com.
All right. And real quickly, a couple of tips for those people who are starting to get a little bit anxious about the holiday season that's almost upon us.
I would say a couple of quick tips would be to don't freak out, don't get into overwhelm, understand what's most important for you and your family, that's prioritizing, and just keep it simple.
All right, I like that. Well, Jonathan, my goodness, we've had a busy show here today, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Is that applause for you or for me or for Deanne or
yes,
for Ron?
For all of us.
For all of
I
us.
Think.
Well, that's...
it was a great show.
Absolutely. And I bet Dawn is going to be sorry that she missed it.
Yes. Well, she'll have to hear it on the rebroadcast at 11 p.m. tonight. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you can hear the rebroadcast at 11 p.m. on AllNet Radio or on the Create It Now Radio, CreateItNowMedia.com.
You probably ought to have the script in front of you like I do.
Yes.
That's all the time we have today for the Create It Now Radio show. This show will be rebroadcast on VegasAllNetRadio.com from 11 p.m. to midnight tonight. You can also find all the previous shows archived on Vegas AllNet Radio as well. Come back and see us tomorrow. We will be here with the Create It Now Radio show.